people want this, you know, smooth, sleeky hair, but also have those nice waves. Well, they can look smooth and sleeky, but they don't necessarily feel that way.
All right, so Kaylee, tell us what you're gonna use.
All right, so to start off, I'm gonna use the 12 just to get it nice and textured all over. It is important that you get it textured enough so that the curl will stay, because if you do not, it is going to fall right out.
Yeah.
As soon as you walk outside in the Florida humidity. So.
Yes, and clean hair doesn't stay in any kind of weather. You have to have it really textured up.
And then if you don't want to use an aerosol, because I know some people don't really like that, also I can use the finishing spray by Per Design, which is a pump instead of an aerosol.
And what is the reason why we choose the 12 or the finishing spray?
Well, there's no resin in it, so it doesn't make the hair feel crunchy and just not very, it's not very
sticky.
Good to work with and sticky.
Yeah,
Yes.
it won't stick to your iron. And you know, you're gonna want a stronger spray that does have more resin in it at the end, but when you're trying to curl and flat iron your hair and you want to be able to seal it and seal that curl, you want to use a non-resin spray. So that's why we like the 12 or the finishing spray.
Absolutely. All right, so let's get started here. First, make sure your hair is nice and brushed through. Like mine is about a couple days old now. So
which is good. It's got lots of product in it, so it makes it easy to curl.
Yes, but I'm still going to spray some more anyways because it can never be textured enough. So I'm just going to go ahead and spray the entire thing here. Just an overall spray. Ooh. All right. Make sure you can get your hands through it too. Comb it out a little bit, and I'm going to take my first section here. I normally like to just part my hair straight down the back and pull both. You can use a clip if you want, but I think it's just easier and faster not to use a clip. So I like to start in the front first, take a tiny piece of the bang.
Turn and show us that when you get the iron in.
Yes.
There you go, right there.
All right, so just go ahead and grab it and twist one time with the curling iron. And what you want to do is actually take that twist out completely, pull back down, let it sit there and wrap it around again, pull out, and do the exact same thing over again. So it almost looks like more of an S instead of an actual like a palm curl. You know what I'm saying? And then you do not take that curl out. You let it sit, because the cooling process is actually what sets the curl, not the actual heating it up. So, and you just take small sections all the way around. They can be different sizes. They don't have to be the same all the way around, just because it'll give it a more natural look.
Yeah, so the fatter the sections, the
looser it's going to be,
the less it's probably going to hold. You can also do smaller sections with a larger barrel. Like if you really like the big, loose, barely like almost next day curls, you can even still take the small sections but use a larger barrel iron. Turn towards us again.
Twist. Okay. And then completely take that curl out. And then move down with it and then curl it again. Take it out, around, and back again. So you're not just wrapping it around like a normal curl, because that will just give you a normal curl. It'll just be looser. This is actually flattening out pieces instead of curling them all the way around, so that's what gives it that S motion.
Once you get that, there you go. She's turning it,
letting it go,
pulling it, turning it, pulling it out. There you go.
It's alright if the ends are completely straight. It is. That'll give it even more of that beachy, like.
Yeah, next day, undone. You don't want the hair to look too fixed.
No, because that is not the look anymore. Let it go. And I actually can do this without looking in the mirror. Wow. And I mean, once you get the hang of it, it goes pretty quick. I just like to work.
Yeah, so I'm timing you right now. So far, you're at 4 minutes of curling.
I can do this entire thing probably in 8 to 10 minutes. But I also have, you know.
So some of the clients are pretty good at curling their hair, Kaylee, but they just have a hard time. Like, what do you do with it after it's curled? Wow, so you'll have to show us.
Definitely, because that is.
I think they want to try to fix it too much. So the trick is, you know, very little. Then you're going to do that all the way back to the center. Can you show us another one?
Yep.
And she's got 12 all over that.
On top of days old product.
Right. So really, you know, when your hair is clean, even if you do texture it up, it still does better after a couple of days.
It really
it's because it's got a lot of product in there. I can tell you when we do these looks like at Fashion Week, sometimes those girls are coming in first thing in the morning with clean hair that's been washed since they were working the day before. And we spend a good 10-15 minutes just texturing it up, like adding the Cutler volumizing spray to it, or, you know, the 12 to it, something section by section, just to get it textured up so that it can receive the styling that we're going to put in it, and it will hold through the look.
And really, if you are doing it on absolutely clean hair, it starts when it's wet. You need to texture it with some kind of liquid volumizing spray. I like to use the Bombshell Blowout, or if your hair needs a little bit more than that, I would say the Redken Salt Spray, or yeah, even the Cutler volumizing spray.
Yeah, I love the Cutler volumizing spray because it seems to have, if you have a tiny bit of frizz, a little bit of a smoothing shine agent in with the texture, which is really nice.
Yeah, you see how that looks? You gotta leave it looking like this until you're done with the other side. So this overall was half my head done, and how long was that?
At 6 minutes.
Yeah. And I'm going slow.
So now we're gonna get to see this side. This will be good.
The other side.
So turn, pull it out.
Pull it out. Take it completely out. Wrap it again. Come out.
That's a good one. And look at the tiny section she's taken, and she did one part on the top and one part on the bottom.
Yeah, I like to start from the top and go to the bottom, personally. But like I said, you can clip it out and section it if you want, if you feel like just doing this is a little bit overwhelming. But just wrap it, pull it out, wrap it again, pull it out. And then on some you can leave the ends out, and on some you can completely make a full revolution around those.
For like just a different type of curl in there,
Yes.
so it doesn't all look the same.
And you can make them tight, you can make them looser, it doesn't matter.
So she took that one at the scalp, and the reason why she's taking that one at the scalp and not dragging it away is she wants a little volume in there.
Yes.
So if you notice how she drug them away from the face a little bit before she started curling in the front, and then in the back she took it more towards the scalp, and that's just to give you that little bit of bump in the crown.
And see, in the back, you can take a larger section, because really the focal point of this style is in the front and in the crown. And it does not matter how tight that you make these. I mean, the tighter they are, the more wave you're going to get, but having some of those in there, some pieces of that is good. Alright. And it kind of looks like dreadlocks almost. That's what it needs to look like. So then, before I even start messing with it, I'm actually going to spray the Amika Undone Texture Spray, which this gives it takes from 0 to 100, I'm telling you. I mean, it gives it volume, it makes it super textured. It almost works as kind of a dry shampoo as well, so if you are doing this, you know, that next day, looks really good. So then now I'm just going to take it and kind of just mess it up. I mean, just take my hands like
No brush.
No brush. No.
She only brushed it at the beginning just to get it sectioned out smooth so she can get it around the iron.
Yeah, so all I'm doing is kind of just shaking it, not even pulling it at all. And so when I get to that point where I feel like it's nice and pieced out enough, then I'll take any individual curl that I see, you know, that is too put together, and I'll just pull it apart with my hands in. So.
Nice. And then when you get it where you want it, and what do you do about the back where the split was? You just do that straight back? Okay.
Yep, straight back.
And just shake it out with your hands. And see how she's getting a little bump there in the crown? That's because she curled that right at the scalp.
Mm-hmm. And see, I like it to look as messy as possible. Almost frizzy, but not quite. So see, it gives it more of that S than that full curl revolution. And then so after, if you want to use, you know, something for a lot of hold, it should hold pretty well by now. But still, if you want
but what if it's that first day after you shampooed it and you did texture it up with your stuff and you did use the 12 and all that, but you still need it to hold?
Definitely, then I would do either the Control Addict 28, which this, I mean, is extra high hold hairspray. It does have resin, so it could be crunchy, but at this point, you need that, especially for, you know,
you can curl through it the next day though. You can. That's what's nice about that. The Amika too.
Yeah, the Amika Headstrong hairspray. Yes, it works just about the same as the Control Addict. Or you could even just do 2 or 3 sprays of the Undone Texture Spray. I really like that too. But I think I'm going to choose the Control Addict 28. So I like to just lift up, just even give it some more volume there.
So you're spraying more at the root and letting it kind of just float to the ends.
Yes, exactly.
Really nice.
Oh yeah, it's not really nice.
Thank you, Kaylee.